How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about ChargePoint. And I must say, I am satisfied with its overall performance considering what we had happening in the market on Friday. We have this scare about this new variant that is coming in. We had a lot of panic selling. We saw a lot of stocks having dips on the day, but of course, ChargePoint held up fairly well, still looking bullish on the chart overall, and is part of the reasons why I'm putting this video together for you guys. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know those key levels in a bearish case scenario and as well as in a bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on FinTel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. The reason why this is key as far as for the short interest, it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know what was the buying and as well as the selling behavior like on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for ChargePoint. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $25.82, being down 1.34%. On the low, it tested $25, and then on the high, testing $25.99. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 5.215 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days being at 9.895 million shares. So we did have below average volume on the day, but no surprises there due to the fact we did have a short week. We also did have a short day, and plus the news are surrounding around that new variant that is going around. Now, when we take a look at a chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is right around 54.30. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we have strength above the 50-day as well as for the 100-day, the 200-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. And you guys know how much I'm loving this because this shows us that it is on a strong uptrend. Now, what we want to take a look at, we could see as far as for the Friday, we ended up testing support right at this $25 level, and we saw some buyers that were stepping in. We could also see this was an area of support not too long ago near the beginning of November as well. So seeing this hold up and being able to see highs of $25.99 is definitely a good look. So going into Monday, I want to see us getting back into that $26 range. Do know, depending on what the market conditions are, ChargePoint will be impacted by this. So if the markets are looking strong, then I'm looking forward to seeing us get back to 26 and then being able to actually pass right here around 26.34 so we can make that strong push and get back to that $27 area. Of course, this is going to be a resistance area, so one thing you want to make sure you add to your homework. Now, as far as for the bearish case scenario, if we end up breaking through $25, then the next level of support that I want to see hold up will be right here around $24.70. But for the most part, things are continuing to look good for ChargePoint, and if we decide to consolidate within this range, this is not too bad either because we could still look forward to seeing that next move up. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for ChargePoint. So scrolling down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So what we're going to be taking a look at are their filings for November the 26th, and you can see we have a good amount of activity that is happening. So as far as for a new position we have filed here, we have US Mix that purchased just under 25,000 shares. We also have HCVEX that purchased just under 6,000 shares, and we also have SPRX that purchased just over 8,400 shares. As we scroll down even further on the page, we can see Pro Funds that ended up purchasing 713 shares. We also have TAG that purchased 2,253 shares, and we also have MULAX that purchased 727 shares. When we take a look at the short interest, the dark pool short volume ratio is at 31.06%, and then for the dark pool short volume, it is at 624,892 shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 6.4 million, updated 15 minutes ago. so. And then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 0.43%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we could see for the close of the 24th, it was at 34.11, which was on the Wednesday. And then for the close of the 26th, which was a Friday that just passed, it was at 31.06. So we do see a reduction there, which is definitely good to see, because this tells us as far as for the overall market sentiment, it has gotten more positive for ChargePoint, but it still continues to have short squeeze potential, and it's part of the reasons why you want to keep a close eye on this play. So now let's jump into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for ChargePoint. So you can see here on the inflow, it was at 20.40, and then on the outflow, it was at 20.12. So we ended up having an inflow day. When we take a look at the breakdown, we had 0 on the large. On the medium, we got 11.07, and then on the small, we have 9.33. Taking a look at the outflow side, we had 0 on the large. On the medium, we had 10.31, and then on the small, we have 9.81. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for November the 26th, we ended up having 0. We also saw this on the 24th. We saw it on the 23rd. We did have a big time inflow on the 22nd, and we had 0 on the 19th. When we take a look at the breakdown even further, so for the small scale orders, what tends to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. No surprises due to the fact we did have a big time pullback in the market, and unfortunately, many retail investors tend to sell out of their positions when the market is red. Again, on this channel, I tell you guys, when the market is red or when we have pullbacks, you want to take advantage of that so you can ride the momentum back up. Now, when we take a look at the medium, we had more buying than we had selling, but it was still fairly close. And then when we take a look at the large, you could see it was 0 on both sides. When we take a look now at the turnover ratio, it is at 1.62%. And you know what? This is not too bad when it comes to a stock like ChargePoint. Again, there was a lot of selling pressure on the Friday for many stocks, and ChargePoint held up fairly well, and it still looks good in a technical sense. We also do know there's a lot of people that are looking forward to ChargePoint's earnings that are going to be coming up in December as well, and a lot of institutions have been loading up on shares, and that's part of the reasons why we're seeing continued price strength inside of the stock. So now let's jump into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for ChargePoint, there's a few things I want to go over very quickly leading into Monday. We have to pay attention to the market conditions. If the market continues to pull back, then of course we want to see ChargePoint being able to show continued strength right at the $25 level. This is essential. Also, as far as for the bullish case scenario, if the markets are strong, then we want to see ChargePoint get above $26. It had resistance at $25.99 on the Friday, so that's one thing you want to be aware of. Add it to your homework and as well as for your due diligence. And as far as from a technical aspect, ChargePoint still continues to look good. We are seeing a continuation of consolidation, and we're looking forward to seeing that next move up, especially leading into earnings. When we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. So this is why when we have a catalyst or we have buying pressure coming through the stock, we can see some moves to the upside. And this is why I always say doing your homework and doing your due diligence and looking at the stocks that you're in will help you go a long way and give you a head start versus other traders inside of the market and as well as investors. I also get the question, so what is a good price to pay for ChargePoint if you believe in the long-term prospects? I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I really don't care. If you can get this play when it's under 20 bucks, then that is the best. I know what you're saying. Well, Dre, the stock is already trading. It's almost making a run going to $30. You said you want to see it go to $30. But at the end of the day, this is a growth stock. It's going to have its ups and it's going to be having its downs. And I know for a fact at some point it will come back below $20. And when that does happen, I'll be adding more to my position, and then maybe you can think about it or consider it and do some more homework and see if it is going to be the right decision for you. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.